Good evening, everyone. Again, happy to be here with you. It's another edition of the Roundtable. We took a couple of weeks off, loaded some new content in the midst, filled our bellies with Thanksgiving food, had a little bit of hiatus. Scooch had a chance to do some carpentry and make some chessboards. Justin had to grade some papers. Bobby had to make some code and fix some computers. Um, that being said, welcome everyone. I'm RJ. Welcome to the Walker Roundtable. Let's go around. Scoosh, introduce yourself.
Jeff Walker Sr., Papa J.
Jeffrey Jr., Bobby.
And I am Justin, the youngest.
Scoosh, Book, and Bear. Bear, what's the topic for today?
So the topic overall is Christmas. So we got four questions for the podcast tonight. First question is, what are your favorite Christmas memories slash traditions? The next one is, how has Christmas changed as you've gotten older? Next is, what's a Christmas gift that you've always wanted but never got? And last is, what is your New Year's resolution?
Okay, so
So
what's the
I
first
figure we'll take it down one question at a time.
what's the first one you want to go with?
So first one is what are your favorite Christmas memories slash traditions?
Go ahead and start, Justin.
Okay. So my favorite Christmas memories and traditions probably are linked to um probably spending time at Aunt Karen's house for Christmas
Mm,
dinners.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Um
That's a good one.
yeah.
That's a good
So like because Aunt Karen always went all out when it came to Christmas. Like she always had the huge tree, the lights on the house. And you could always count on that banana pudding being there somewhere when Aunt Kathy came through.
one.
Um and so
I could
it
taste
was
that. I could
always
taste that now, man. Woo!
it,
Yes,
it was
Lord.
always a good time during Christmas at Aunt Karen's house. Um and
Mm.
so that is a good core memory for Christmas for me. Um Another Christmas memory. Well, it's not, I guess, Christmas memory. I guess it's just like a winter memory from childhood is those snow days at Stewart and those snowball fights during like right before the Christmas holiday. As a kid, like snowball fights, like that was like the ultimate playtime, like when you were a kid is getting in snowball fights at school. So that was like a great like holiday winter memory. And
Because they never close school in Milwaukee.
I mean, not in Milwaukee, not for snow days. I mean, because every day is a snow day in Milwaukee. I mean, every day is.
Well, it had to get it had to get. I think the
Snow.
baseline for University of Wisconsin, it had to hit -15 for them to close. So I
Negative
had plenty.
15.
So I had plenty of -10 days, like at the height of winter, and I think
Mm.
it had to be like -5 from MPS or something like that. It had to be like a little bit past.
Well, if the buses was running, then
Yeah, you're going to school.
Hmm.
Put
Yeah.
your park on.
Yep,
And
get out
so
the house.
I say another good Christmas memory is holiday movies. Um, Home Alone, especially, was like a good holiday movie around Christmas time that I always watched and always enjoyed. And uh, and Daddy. His favorite holiday movie, of course, his tradition, Friday After Next.
We watching that
Um,
tomorrow? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
what's up?
I mean,
You know,
so that has
that's what I'm
become
talking
part of
about.
the, Walker Christmas tradition
Yes.
is the Friday After Next movie. And so that's
Yeah.
become a staple now. And so that's
Oh.
part of my favorite memories and traditions.
Okay. Who's
oh
So who's next? Ryan, you wanna take it?
Yeah, I mean, I have one distinct memory. This is y'all are gonna like this. And so Bobby, because Bobby is what? How many years older are you than me? Is it 4.5?
Three.
Three, 3.5. Okay, so there was always a little bit of a gap. Bobby being older, and then me and Justin being younger. And I remember on Christmas days, we didn't know that Santa Claus wasn't real. But I remember this so distinctly. We were so excited every Christmas, and me and Justin are like babies, and Bobby's the big brother. And it's this, the 90s. So we're laying in the bed, all three of us is laying in the bed, and daddy and mama's, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning wrapping gifts and stuff like that. And you know how mama's so extreme. If you wake up, Santa gonna put pepper in your eyes and coals in your stocking. You ain't gonna be able to see. So I remember like, and
It
Bobby
become a
would always,
Colwell.
yeah, and Bobby would always will always be there, and Bobby would um like hit the back of the headboard and be like,
Yeah, I remember
Santa
that.
Claus. And then I like
I
run,
like the noise of the reindeer on the top of the roof.
yeah, and then I like run to the the to the window with the little bitty t-shirt and tidy whities. Where he at, Bobby? And so I mean, and Bobby, like if folks don't know, it's so funny how I'm such a like we're all so independent and we're our own person. But when I was little, I was so attached to Bobby. Like I used to always want to sleep in his room with him, and I was like, oh, but he'd be like, well, no, Ryan, they gonna get you, they gonna get you, and so, and then Justin would just be, he just same way he was when he was a baby, just he was a baby, just sleeping. Well, I'll wake up when Santa Claus is ready, just was just. I'm the one that's excited, and Justin is just snoozing, barely out of Pampers, relaxing, and then Bobby is orchestrating the whole deal.
Justin
Uh,
treated Santa Claus like Amazon. They'll deliver.
yeah,
When I was young, I already kind of knew, what was happening. Like
I didn't know.
when I
I was
was about 5, 6, I kind of figured it out.
well, no. So
But
I'm thinking about when you were like 3. I was like 6,
uh,
and Bobby was like 9. Like I'm thinking like right up in there. And Bobby used to help organize the gifts and like help with the coordination of us getting in there.
mhm.
And that memory to me, it stuck with me because I was a kid, and it happened every year until we kind of got big enough, and we had our own little twin beds and stuff in the other room. And yeah, I mean, so that's like my all-time pastime. Like I used to love I was so it brought me so much joy. I was there with my brothers, we're all little, we're kids, and we're waiting, and then daddy and mama did a wonderful job with all the gifts. And I'm not a festive person now. Everyone knows I hate wrapping gifts. I just spoil my baby and get her whatever she wants. But y'all did a good job keeping it festive, and waking us up every morning. It'd be 3 in the morning, and it'd be this fiasco, wrapping paper everywhere, and it was a good time. So blessed to enjoy that with y'all and have good
The
people.
ongoing joke about finding out what age you were when Santa Claus was not a fictional character anymore.
What's the
Because
what?
it's based on a real person, actually, right?
Well, there's
Yeah,
a family member not to be mentioned tonight that
Oh,
we won't mention a name. That's an ongoing joke that they found out Santa Claus wasn't real in high school. So
Gee,
Here, gotta talk about that.
but
Daddy, what's yours? I'll go last on this one because I got a couple.
what's my favorite memory? I guess when I was growing up, we were so poor. Man, we were so broke. But Mama always figured out a way to make coconut cake, turkey and dressing, cranberry sauce, sweet potato pies. She always figured it out. And I don't know for the life of me, man. There's 5 kids in the house. And then my father, and man, we was so broke. It was so cold in that house. We had a coal burning furnace. And I remember having to go down there and, fill that furnace up with coal, and just to keep that house warm. But it was so cold back there, back during those Christmases, it was just unbearable, it seemed like. But Mama, I'm gonna put this on her. She always found a way to get my father to go out on Christmas Eve and get a Christmas tree. And he was so cheap, he would go to every doggone gas station lot to save $2 in order to find a tree. I mean, it was terrible. We were just suffering in this car with this man, and he would never, we want this tree. I can find one $2 cheaper. Hey man, it was like we was going through all of Milwaukee's doggone tree lots trying to find a doggone Christmas tree. Finally brought one home. He would drag it into the house and he wouldn't trim it up. He would leave that to us to trim it up. We out there sawing off limbs and stuff. Kids with saws sawing off limbs of these trees. And finally we would get the tree up, but those days, man, we didn't have a lot. And I think mama just stretched out every penny, turned every corner, made it such a wonderful experience now that I look back on it. And I think you guys mentioned Karen. Karen picked up that festive, and Kathy too. They picked up that festive type of I
No,
guess, mold
Aunt
from
Kathy is
my mother.
Aunt Kathy is the chef, but Aunt Karen is the undeniable like champion with the festive,
Mhm.
like her trees and her
Mhm.
Oh,
decorations. She needs to be in a catalog somewhere. I always like whenever
uh,
I'm like, let me see the tree.
yeah, she used to have. I talked to her tonight. And she used to have at least four trees, maybe five trees in her house,
Hmm.
and they were all decorated. She had one decorated with all of her dolls. She collects dolls. She had one that was decorated with all birds. She had one that was decorated with all of the ornaments that we grew up with, the bubble lights. You touch them and you burn yourself.
Oh, geez.
Um, she had one decorated that was just for mama and daddy. She decorated one tree for them. She decorated one tree that didn't have any lights on it, but just ornaments all over it, and it was beautiful. The big tree. And then she probably had one or two little trees, out on the patio, and all of them decorated up really nice. But I think my fondest memory was, growing up with my mother's cooking and that type of a thing. Presents. My father would never buy a present, you know, out of all the years, and I think I lived with him until I was about, well, when I married your mother, probably 23 years old, something like that. And he never bought a Christmas present for nobody. Crazy.
Really? Like not even
No, he
for
never would buy a Christmas
not even
present
for our
for
grandmother?
nobody.
Not even for our grandmother? Like one little
No,
candle or something?
no. I think he probably peeled off some money or buy
Oh,
the
okay.
kids something,
Eh,
but he never bought that.
I think Papa Bill lived or Papa Walker lived in that era of, as long as I got the heat on and the lights on, that's my
I'm
Christmas
cool.
gift. Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
as long as the heat
I'm
is
that
running, as
way
long as the
now.
lights is on, Merry Christmas.
Uh, Shoot.
You don't
But
turn
that's
into
that.
him,
Yeah,
huh?
man. That's it. That's it for me, though. Those are fine memories.
Those are some good ones. I got a few that came to mind. The first one was there was a year when mom and daddy bought a bunch of presents. And y'all heard this story before, but bought a bunch of presents. And then there was the hiding spot was downstairs in the closet. And y'all know that I was the one that would wake up real early, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, wake everybody up. And then, okay, it's time to.
But wasn't you the coordinator? Didn't you help wrap the gifts and
Wait,
stuff
hold
too?
on, hold on. So don't steal the thunder. Right.
Okay, all
So
right.
all of those presents were down there in the closet, and I woke up at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning just to check and see if Santa had come. And this I was like, let's say like 12, 13. No gifts was under the tree. Mom and daddy knocked out in the bedroom sleep. I'm like, man, what's gonna happen? I'm the only one up in this house, and not one gift is wrapped. Now it wasn't just down there in the closet. Nothing was wrapped. So I
Oh, I ain't
went.
never heard this.
I ain't never
You
heard of
heard the story? Yeah, Daddy know about it. I told it the other when I was there in Thanksgiving. So I went downstairs at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It had to take me like 2 hours to wrap all of those gifts, but I wrapped every single gift, brought them all upstairs, went to sleep for like 20 minutes, woke everybody up. Santa came, Santa came. And then watched y'all with a whole lot with sleepy eyes, watch y'all rip through gifts that I had just wrapped a few.
Jeez. Well, thank you, man.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Bobby.
you.
That's the responsibility and weight of a big brother, I guess, right?
It wouldn't have, hey, listen, it wouldn't have been, I would have carried him upstairs, but I wouldn't have wrapped them jokers. I would have just left them
Oh
alone.
yeah, I know you don't like rapping,
Merry
but
Christmas.
I
Hey,
mean, I had to. I was trying my best to help keep the magic going, and so yeah, that's one of my fondest memories is making sure that um that we kept Santa going for y'all for at least a few more years, and
wait,
then
hold on. Speaking of that, does Layla still believe in Santa Claus?
a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
there'll be a couple of gifts under the tree from Santa, she, I think
Electronic now.
getting close to that time where she know daddy bought the gifts, but um,
Daddy, I need digital dollars now.
yeah, exactly. And Santa I don't think Santa's saying Apple Cash, but anyway, a couple more memories, and then I got a tradition real quick. So the other memory that I have is. So I would, put up the Christmas tree sometimes. And y'all remember the Christmas tree that we used to have where you had to stick individual branches into the little color-coded holes?
Or
That was
Daddy
terrible.
hated that. He
Terrible.
hated that
hated
shit.
You
that.
loved it though.
And so I ended
I
up
used to
doing
sit there and
that.
just look. I used to be like, man, I'm glad you
Yeah,
love this.
yeah.
It
So I
was
ended
color
up
coded though.
it was color-coded, but that tree ended up being so old that the colors ended up, wearing
Yeah.
off. And I was guessing like, okay, these look like they might be at the bottom of the tree. So let me stick these in, see how they look. So anyway, that's another one. And then last Christmas memory, I got a bunch of them, but the last one I'll talk about here is that there was a year where everybody had, of course, the three of us got our gifts, and then the way it worked after we tore open everything, then Mama would start to hand Daddy her gifts from her, right? So Daddy, of course, get because he the daddy, get a bunch of socks and underwear and all that stuff, right? And
Some
shirts,
draws.
yeah, and shirts, shirts
T-shirts.
like that, right? Um, and then she was done giving Daddy his gifts, and then Mama was looking around like, "Okay, Jeff, where mine at?"
I remember that. I
You
think I
remember
remember.
I think you know what you're talking about. So.
And then it wasn't nothing under the tree, and I'm thinking like, okay, just so you know how you was just talking about Papa Walker not giving nobody no gifts. I'm thinking like, oh, Daddy, I forgot about Christmas. Here we go. And then he was like, Janice, look inside the tree, and she was like,
Yeah.
what? Look inside
I,
the tree. You remember? And she
she
looked under the
such
tree.
such a hothead full of passion. What? What?
He started looking under the tree like most people would. Jeff, ain't nothing under this tree. What you talking about? Janice, look in the tree. Look in the tree. In the tree. And she looked in the tree eventually, and she saw a ring box.
Yeah.
You remember
Yeah.
Was
this?
it a ring or wasn't it
It
origami
was a
inside
ring.
of
I'm
wasn't
I
pretty
it?
sure
think
it was a
it
ring
was a
box.
red
It was
ring
a
box, I
ring.
think.
It was a ring on a string. I put
Oh,
it
it was in a
on
string. It was on a string.
a
Okay.
string. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. Okay. And then so you had upgraded the wedding ring, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I remember her getting all excited and screaming, oh, Jeff, Jeff, Jeff. So that's one of my favorite Christmas memories. Daddy faked her out.
And she put it on.
Yeah,
It don't fit, but I'm wearing this bad boy. It don't fit.
Hey,
so
hey, let me tell you. I'll give it a backstory. That day, we went where over your grandmother's house, I think it was. It was nothing but hi, how y'all doing? Hey, what's up? How y'all doing?
What's
How
this?
y'all doing?
No, she sold that up.
Oh man, it was like, and nobody in that whole group had a ring like that. Period. To this day, they don't.
Mhm.
Today, to this day, they don't.
I know she
Yeah,
loved
I think that was probably the last big gift that I ever gave you.
it. And she loved it to this day. And
Uh,
then
Hey, I mean,
sports it. She sports it.
and
hey,
then my last thing here real quick is a tradition that I started with my daughter and I. Every year we go to the mall and we buy a Christmas ornament with our names on it, right? So it says Layla and Daddy, and then it has the year. And so I have one for every year since she was born. And at some point, she, um, will fill up the whole tree with Christmas ornaments customized for us. But that's our little tradition that we have every year.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
know,
Justin, what's the next question?
oh yeah, before we move on to the next question, I want to just touch on like some of my favorite Christmas gifts. Like when I was a kid, was like remember how we always got, or Daddy and Mama always got us those remote control cars that we would like, those RC cars that we like run all
Oh
throughout the
man, those
house.
were
On the
fantastic
track?
on the tracks.
No,
Yeah,
those no
I used to like
the
the ones on
big
the
ones,
tracks.
those like big ones that the
Oh,
remote control cars.
that was my gift, or maybe that was all of ours. I
No, I
remember.
remember having a few. Like it was like, and like
Oh, dude, the little
those were
RC
always
with
like my favorite gifts.
that you
Like those
race
like
outside in the middle of the street. They go super
yeah,
fast and then they tumble like the
yeah.
big Tonka truck. Oh yeah, them was good. I used to like
That
those.
was that was so dope. But all right, the next question is how has Christmas changed as you've gotten older? And uh I've gotten older, um I feel like Christmas, I don't know, like I feel like there's more emphasis on buying things that you need more than things that you want. Like, so if there's a Christmas gift that I'm considering giving to, my brothers or my mother and my father, I think about something that is going to be useful instead of something that is just probably going to sit on a shelf somewhere. Because like I think the a few past Christmases where we've been together, we've exchanged gifts. I think I've given y'all like maybe like headphones or a few things like that, or things that I feel like y'all could use, and things that I feel like just won't collect dust somewhere.
Like these.
Um, were those the headphones I gave you? I'm not sure.
They were.
Oh, and your watch apparently too.
Oh yeah, I gave I think Ryan a watch for his birthday or something.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
Thank you, baby.
yeah, but
Give me the cash. Give me the
but
cash.
like I feel like you know, obviously when we're now, all of us are in warmer climates. Bobby's in California, we're all down here in Texas. I feel like that Christmas feeling of snow everywhere, I feel that added to the aesthetic. And I feel like Christmas felt a lot more Christmassy when we were in Milwaukee, because of that. Because of the cold, because of the snow. Um, and I feel like, places like, I guess this can go back to our Christmas memories. Like places like Northridge during Christmas time, those were like some of my like peak memories of like, it's cold outside, it's snow on the ground. I'm in Northridge Mall as a kid in this snowsuit that mama always used to give us. We got like big puffy coats and puffy pants on, and we about to sit on Santa Claus's lap for this mall photo. And it's like all of that, kind of felt like it was supposed to be part of the Christmas spirit and part of the Christmas experience. And I feel like, as a kid growing up in Texas or a kid growing up in California, I don't know if Christmas hits the same in 80-degree weather when there's no snow on the ground. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me being biased as somebody that grew up in Milwaukee. But like I feel like that has kind of changed Christmas for me. Just the change of environment, from a cold place like Milwaukee to a place like Houston. Um, so yeah, that's one way that or a couple ways that Christmas has changed for me as I've gotten older. Is one, I buy things that I need more so than things that I want. And I try to address what others may need if I want to give them a gift. And the fact that it's, today is Christmas Eve, or the day before Christmas Eve, and it's 75 degrees outside. So those are a couple things.
Loving it.
You know,
Well,
the
let me tell you
oh, go
something
ahead.
though.
Go ahead.
Listen to what you said, Justin, as far as the change of weather and things like that. When
Mhm.
I first got down here, believe me, I was calling back to Milwaukee saying, "Do you hear that? Do you hear that?"
Mhm.
And they go, "What is that sound?" Those are lawnmowers. cutting my lawn, cutting my lawn on Christmas Eve. So, that kind of thing changes, I guess, your your feeling about Christmas. For me, over the years, I think what's changed, I guess, my perspective of Christmas is that, working and now not working, I look forward to those vacation breaks when I was working, you know, and it became more of I'm looking forward to Christmas to get off. I'm looking forward to Christmas to take some time off from work. And I think that kind of degraded, the way I felt about Christmas sometimes, because it was such a short time when you're working. It's just a short time, the holiday season, is that you kind of get exhausted from doing all of those things in that short time and then having to go back to work. So it's kind of a downer, you know. Um, the materialistic side of it, looking at, buying gifts and things like that. When I got older, I don't need nothing, I don't need nothing. Don't buy me anything. If you buy me something, like I said, give me the cash,
Give me the cash.
give me the cash. And with that, I don't even need that so much as I really don't need, I don't want you to extend yourself giving me something when I got everything I possibly need right now. And so there's, I get that question all the time. What do you want for Christmas? I don't know. It's hard for me. If I tell somebody I need a tool, well, I got everything. Or I need some clothes. You know what? I'm retired now. I don't need to be wearing suits every day, you know?
I was thinking of that too. Like, that is a very blessed position to be in, to where you can, if somebody asks you what you want for Christmas and you can't think of anything because all of your needs are already met,
Yeah.
that's like a really blessed position to be in. Like, because you really can't think of anything that is necessary that you're in dire need of because you're good.
I got a DVD list, but looking at that, that's something that's like personal. That's not like,
Mhm.
and it's not like it's what's something special that you want? And you always think of that as far as Christmas time, something special. Man, ain't nothing too special that I want now, you know. So
Yeah.
that's my take.
Yeah. I
Bobby,
think
Ryan?
I think it's changed for me. I mean, naturally as you get older and it becomes less about you and becomes more about family. I think my perspective, as a kid, I look forward to just the gifts. It was no really like the meaning behind it. Um, it didn't really hit, but it's supposed to. I mean, we're celebrating the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, right? So that's been a shift, right? So that's the pure meaning of it is when the three wise men came to worship the Lord when he was born, and they gave him gifts, and so that's the purpose of it, to celebrate Christ, and and all that he's done for us. So that's been a shift from just understanding the gifts to the pure meaning of Christmas. But then I think I also reflect, and our Christmases were fun as kids. I mean, it makes me appreciate my parents and my brothers, because our parents went out of I mean, you and mama, daddy, y'all went out of y'all way to make it fun for us, and it was a lot of work. We were a bunch of little rascals running around playing and having a good time, but it was always an event. It was big. We wake up at 3 a.m. and we're playing with our toys and video games like well into the afternoon. There's pizzas on. We're all late taking showers and stuff like that. We got a bunch of crap everywhere, food everywhere. It was an amazing. And then we all saddle up and go over by Papa Bill and Baba Jane, to go eat, saddle up with the rest of the family. So that was that. And then I think now as I get older, And I'm a father, it's more centered around um my daughter, making sure she enjoys herself. And I'm like Justin, like if I buy a gift, I usually try to buy a gift towards someone's utility, whatever they need. And I buy a gift based off of feelings. Like and sometimes I space. Sometimes I don't even buy gifts for certain people. I just would hope that, as a son and as a brother, family member, like the stuff that I'm doing to help throughout the year comes through. Like, oh, he's always doing something for somebody to help him. Because we're so busy. So now it's just, it's a blessing. We celebrate, we bless Christ for all that he's done for us. But it's a selfless holiday for me at this point. It's really about my daughter, and then extending the love and the care and just being with family, right? Because for me, it's like I look forward, Christmas Eve tomorrow and hanging with the family and playing games and watching movies, and on Christmas Day, everybody kind of congregating and eating and relaxing. I think that's the biggest thing for me. I've always been working projects, so now I'm trying to, as I get older, get healthier, de-stress. You have about 2 weeks of just off time or skeleton crew time at work. Use that time to rest, right? Use that time to recharge, refresh, do some things, see some movies, have some laughs, eat some good food, barbecue, whatever the case may be, and enjoy. Bobby?
I think a lot of what you said, I it resonated and I can relate to. Um, I don't, I definitely, my first thought is not to receive anything. My first thing is, what can I do to make those who I care about happy in this season? So that's what I think about. Never think about what I'm gonna get or what I'm gonna ask for, because I'm not asking. Uh, but I think as I've gotten older, and I hope I was appreciative when I was younger, but I am definitely more aware and conscious of it, that appreciative of every thought that somebody has um, about me or my kid or whatever it is, right? If they send something to me, if they say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, you made it a point to say that to me, and I appreciate it. So I think that's something that has gotten that I've intentionally tried to be more present and aware of as I've gotten older. Um, of course, appreciating the reason for the season and that being Jesus, and making sure that I take this time to reflect on all of the different blessings that we have um, in our life, right? So I think this is also just the time to reflect. I've noticed that as I've gotten older, as we've all gotten older, that compared to when we were little, it seems like our families are in different places, right? A bunch of different smaller families in different places having their own celebrations. What I remember when I was younger was two big ones. And and so it's more spread out now as we've gotten older, and everybody has their own traditions and their own schedules, and so that's another thing. And then on kind of a silly note, I also noticed that Thanksgiving dinner is better than Christmas dinner.
Why you
I
say
mean,
that?
it's almost the same food, but like it just
But
hits different on Thanksgiving, I guess.
so it's a whole lot of effort going into Thanksgiving, and then I think by the time Christmas roll around, folks are a little tired. So it's still good,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I like Thanksgiving dinner better.
I mean, I feel like the cinnamon rolls are good on both holidays. Wouldn't you
I don't
agree,
know,
Steve?
Daddy, what you think?
Hey, I just got finished with a project today.
It's
So,
always,
But
yeah.
anyway,
how about this?
tomorrow, actually, hey, check this out. Tomorrow's project is fixing the stove. An eye on the stove needs to be replaced. So I was thinking, I'll fix the eye on the stove, I'll roll out that dough, wham, bam, boom, done.
Good. Appreciate
25,
it.
30
No,
minutes on that
I,
I,
project.
I appreciate it. I
And an
appreciate
hour
you.
and an hour rolling that
I
dough.
appreciate it. So let me tell everybody what I told Daddy what I want for Christmas, right? This doesn't happen often, but I told him that because I mean, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but let's just say this semester I did pretty good. I'm almost done with my master's. Did pretty good this semester. So I told our parents, I said, "Hey, this is my GPA. Hit the dean's list. What's up? You know what I want, Scoosh? Cinnamon rolls. Oh, I got you, son.
That ain't
So
fair.
so listen, that's all I want for Christmas is some cinnamon rolls. And for them to be with vanilla icing, preferably no cream cheese. And for us to have a good Christmas. Sorry, Bobby, I know that you're gonna
Don't
be in the
send me no
rain
pictures. I don't want to see no
in
pictures
the
of you buying
rain. But
Hey
cinnamon rolls.
man,
but
you're gonna have
Daddy,
to.
I appreciate you remembering. I mean, this serves as a reminder for what we're doing tomorrow. I have to go to the store, get some relish trays and some little knickknacks for the party tomorrow. So just so we're all abreast of what's going on.
And with that, I think we need to move on to the next question.
Well, with
Hey,
that, bring bring two tubs of the vanilla icing.
Got you. Got you.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
going to HEB tomorrow.
I'll make it three.
I got you.
yeah, yeah, Bobby a little mad. He's gonna have to
And
settle for a
Layla,
crumb
Layla
a,
the
a,
one
a
that wanted
crumble
them.
cookie.
Layla the one that wanted them. Don't send it to me. She gonna get mad about that.
Hey man, you be always getting them crumble cookies, man. They don't hit the same, but
Yeah.
you're gonna have to make
Just,
it shake.
yeah.
All right, next question is what's a Christmas gift that you've always wanted but never got? So I was telling Daddy this the other day. Um, there was something that I saw that I've always wanted, a toy that I always wanted when I was a kid.
Mm.
I looked at it online the other day at Amazon and it was only $40, right? I was like, should I buy this? And then like I was telling Dave, I was like, this thing I might play with it once, and then like it'll probably end up in the garage somewhere collecting dust or something. But a toy that I always wanted was a remote controlled helicopter. Um, so I looked up a remote controlled drone
Mm.
on Amazon, and it was only $40. It was like a nice little size drone. I was like, I've always wanted one of these when I was a kid, but I've never, because like, remember that store, Happy Hobby
Mhm.
in Milwaukee?
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
And the little girl that stayed there, because that was a house, the little girl that stayed there had this big, huge remote control helicopter. It was so big that I think it might have ran on gasoline. And it was huge. And she was flying it out in that front yard. And ever since then, I was looking at it, I was like, yo, I want one of those. But like as
With the
time
red
got,
hair, or the girl with the red hair, right?
yeah.
Her name was
And
Sam.
like as we was always up in there because Bobby was always buying those bottle rockets in there. And like,
Yeah, them things was fire. I used to love those
Oh,
things. I was always kind of
the
scared to shoot them off, but I was excited when Bobby would. I'd be like, "Go ahead and shoot it, Bobby."
yeah, go to Stewart and
it's
like
go-
fire them things off.
they would go
Yeah.
there too.
Yeah. But like ever since then I wanted one of those remote control helicopters. And then like I saw uh another drone. It was like a remote control jet. And I was like, yo, this would be really slick if I bought these. And like, but like a part of me was like, I guess the grown part of me, started clicking. I'm like, you're not gonna get any use out of this. And so like a part of me was like, I want it just to say I got it, because like I feel like if I had it and Soraya and Layla came over, they would like really enjoy it and enjoy playing with that.
Mm.
But a part of me was like, where am I gonna find the time to actually enjoy this kind of stuff? Um, so that was a Christmas gift uh that I've always wanted, but I never got. And I feel like, even if I got it, it doesn't really serve a utility, like I was saying. So it's one of those things where it would just be like a nice little novelty item, but it wouldn't really serve a great purpose other than a couple of times out, in that little circle drive, just playing around with it. Um,
Happy Hobby is still open too, FYI.
in Milwaukee,
Still open.
Open
Yeah.
for a
dang,
long
that
time.
thing has been
So
open for
on
years.
76th Street, still open. A
Dang.
little red brick house.
Wow, that's crazy. So, what about y'all? What's a gift that y'all never got but that y'all always wanted?
Well, and then we just get done talking about how we don't want gifts, but I think
Hmm.
one thing that I would love to get the jackpot winning lottery ticket as a gift.
That's a good one right
Somebody
there.
can give me that. And then you know how around this time of year you see those commercials. I guess we don't really watch commercials too much anymore, but occasionally you'll see a commercial where a car commercial where they're gifting somebody a car with a big old red bow
Oh yeah.
on the front, on the hood. I always thought growing up, like, man, that would be cool to walk outside and see a brand new car with a big old bow on it.
I got a story to tell you about that.
Hmm. What's up?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, go ahead. That was,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
You,
go ahead.
you know, a gift like that I saw happen. Um, my next door neighbor, Willie. You remember Willie with the dreadlocks? Remember him?
Hmm.
Well, his brother's birthday was right around my birthday in the summertime. And I had told him that we were moving to Houston. And he said, well, I'm having a birthday party in the backyard, Jeff. And he used to love that little house, man. He used to love to come outside and play his music and stuff like that. And he kept his yard always nice and stuff.
Pat
We
Pat
have,
Pat Pat hooked that backyard up though with that deck.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Pat, Jack, oh, yeah.
yeah, he hooked that backyard
They
up.
kept that house up. They really did. And so he has a birthday party for his brother in the backyard. And it was a surprise party. And so his brother and his brother's wife come out of the back door onto the little patio and they have him blindfolded and they have a car sitting in the driveway and it was covered. You couldn't see it. And I just thought it was a tarp on the car. I didn't think anything of it. But I looked at it and I said, there's something behind it. So they walk him over to the car, or yeah, walk him over to the car. He's blindfolded. He doesn't know where he's at. They take the tarp off the car and take his blindfold off. You know what was under that tarp? A Corvette convertible roadster. It was
Mm,
black with red leather interior. It
mm,
was the most gorgeous car I ever saw in my life, and he almost fainted. He
mm,
almost fainted. He couldn't believe it. And it was his 50th birthday. It was his 50th birthday. And she
Mm.
said, he's always wanted this car. And so she said, I found it. I got a great deal on it, and it's yours. And he started crying. It was great. I mean, it was just great. And then I looked at your mother. I said, I want one of those. I want one of those. So,
that's great.
Well, that sounds like what. And see, the funny thing is it's 12 more years. Well, actually, 11 more years until my 50th. So, you know, if y'all are looking to get Corvettes or anything like that in the next 11 years, I'm down.
I'll I,
Cherry
I'll
apple
get you
red.
a I'll get you a remote control Corvette. That just
Unicycle.
your
You can get
remote RC car.
The unicycle.
no, I give you a big wheel.
Big wheel.
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Here's the thing, though. Like, I always had this. I always wanted one car as a gift, and it started. I told Mama about it. It's always been in my spirit. I always wanted a Ferrari. Like, so it's one thing. I always wanted like a silver, like a smoke gray silver Ferrari. Like if I could say I wanted a gift, I haven't ever got it. It would be a car like y'all two, and it would specifically be that specialty Ferrari. I don't know the trim level or anything like that, but those cars intrigue me. I mean, and y'all know I drove the muscle car and the sports cars and stuff like that before I became Big Daddy, and it was pickup truck time. So, um, that was that would be nice. That would be nice. Like if I go out there and again the red bow, or if it's a gift, and it's like we got this Ferrari outside, and that would be.
I won't go that expensive. Just give me the throwback Thunderbird, like we talked about, Ryan, when you were working in the car industry.
Pebble
Ryan found
Beach,
this car,
Pebble
and it
Beach
was
edition.
Pebble Beach edition.
Oh
It
yeah.
was this gorgeous Thunderbird.
Did
It
I
was,
FaceTime? Did I FaceTime you, or did I
um,
call you?
you called me and you
Because I
showed me
because
a
because
picture
I
of it.
bought that car. I bought the car for the company. Remember?
Oh, Lord have mercy. That car is still, if that car is out there now,
I'm gonna tell you what it was.
oof. I saw it in Hawaii. I was in Hawaii and I saw it. And I'm
Um,
like,
yeah.
oh Lord, man, that thing was just, it was smoking. I was in Hawaii and my boss, we were in a taxi together and we were talking about cars. And I said, I want that Thunderbird so bad. She says, look over there, Jeff. I looked over, there it was. There she was. I'm like, oh God, that's the one.
It's a very, and the thing is about that, it's a very rare vehicle. They didn't make very many of them. It's V8 two-door coupe, five-seater. And I remember seeing that car, and it was, old grandpa, old consultant, big money, oil and gas, come on in there. He had to be in his late 70s, early 80s. And he just was like, I don't drive this car. We got one car, me and my wife and whatever. And he was telling me, he was like, I just need to get rid of it because we got the truck and that's it. He had 8,000 miles on the car. 8,000 miles. That car was in pristine condition. It was like a turtle, a light green turtle color, on tan leather seats, hardtop convertible, tan convertible, Pebble Beach edition with the 20-inch rims, chromed out all the way around, V8 sport. That car was so nice. I said, you know what? How much you want for this? Told me, I'm like, let me go in and get you a check. We inventoried that thing. That thing, so it couldn't have been a couple of weeks. That car is amazing. Amazing.
Still over that. But anyway, I digress. I
Yeah.
don't need it now.
You may get it still one of these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Justin, what's our last question?
So our last question is, what is your New Year's resolution? So my New Year's resolution is kind of to build on the progress that I've been doing over this year. Like, because I feel like this year, um, as far as things like, trying to eat better, trying to exercise, trying to, get in a better place with with work and, because I feel like, this new school that I'm teaching at, is a lot less stressful, a lot better work-life balance, for me, a lot more closer to the house. I feel like just building on what I've already laid down this year, um, is my New Year's resolution, is just to carry that on into next year, and to, you know, get just to continue getting a closer relationship with God, because, um, like I said in one of our podcasts, one thing that I'm trying to do more of is, to get a closer relationship with God, through, waking up to early morning sermons, before I go to work, while I'm going to work, things like that. Just building on a stable foundation that I've already laid, because I feel like it's progressing and I see the fruits of my labor, and I just want to continue that. That's my New Year's resolution, just to build on the foundation that I've already laid, and just to see it grow more and more into the next year.
Yeah.
Awesome. You gonna get
Yeah.
that. Daddy?
Stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to stay the course, stay healthy. Um, I had a doctor's visit almost 2 weeks ago, and all the results were good. As far as my blood work, PSA levels, things like that, that was good. I got another doctor's appointment next week with my primary physician, and just staying on track with all of that stuff. It's one lesson I learned is that as you get older, your body doesn't produce as many necessities, the necessary chemicals to keep you in balance naturally. And so I have to take medication in order to have that happen for me. And so just to stay on track with my health program and stay in the gym and do those types of things. Um, catch up on the projects around here, and there's a few things I got in mind, but just to stay the course as far as on the health side of things. So that's about it.
You absolutely do that. Right?
Well, so I think it's, keeping my eyes stayed on the Lord. Last year I think I told y'all that, God came to me and he told me a number of things, but the main thing that he told me when he spoke to me is that I need to get my house in order and lead with love and understand that, he saw that he could see that I was doing my very best as a man and as a father, and that my capacity is a lot wider and deeper than I even know, right? But to lead with love and to keep my house in order. So there's things business wise, personally that I've shaped up. But and I got a word the other day that this has been a very successful year, very blessed year, but very tested. I've had a lot of issues this year with just different things, right? It's been lots of peaks and lots of valleys, lots of stuff in between. And God told me, that nothing that's tested won't stand, right? So you're going to be tested, but once the testing and the trial and tribulation goes through, the blessing is from the other side. And that's always been the case with me, right? So through all of the trauma, through the pain, um, comes blessing and a wisdom. So when you deal with things, this it's another level of elevation. So for me, it's staying in the spirit, staying closer to God, and allowing Him to use me and be His vessel, right? So allowing Him, and not fighting the process, right? So staying in the Word, allowing Him to shape my path, order my steps, and to just upskill myself. So with that, while I'm waiting on direction and pathways, I'm reading. I'm keeping my head in my studies, upskilling, learning, and building on my career, and mind, body, and spirit, like Daddy. Staying healthy, eating healthy. I mean that's taking care of myself, taking care of my dental, taking care of what I put in my body, making sure that I have lots of water, fruits, and vegetables. I'm picking the highest quality foods, not only for myself but for my daughter, and making sure that I'm doing the best to be the best person I can be. And just keeping it going, right? And everything will fall into place.
Ryan eats a lot of avocados. Get that right, Ryan?
Yeah.
Not as many as you do, but I dabble.
That's a healthy fat.
Avocado
Yes.
toast.
I've never tasted, I
It's
mean,
hey,
guacamole, none of that,
if you ever wondered why, I can figure things out sometimes because of the avocados. Bobby eats avocado toast every day. That's why he knows how to build computers, right? That's where the
It's good. It's good for you. All right.
Probably mayonnaise too.
No. Um, let's see. So I've been learning the piano, and I feel good about the progress that I've made so far. And I want to continue to do that. That's helped give me a good outlet that I can do. I never realized it before I started learning, but it's relaxing. It's like how um, folks who paint, right? A lot of them say that the act of painting is relaxing and soothing and therapeutic. And so I want to, some of the songs that I've been learning some classical music and maybe half of the song. I want to learn the rest of the song this coming year, or learning more chords. Okay, so I have some goals related to the piano. I also want to start getting back to traveling again. Of course, I come and visit the family, but I also want to start to travel a bit more. I used to travel a lot, And then there's been a long period of really not so much of that. I love to travel. I want to get back to that. Uh,
Dominican Republic.
I,
Soon. Soon. You got to get back.
say it again.
Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, Santo Domingo, very soon, sir. I'm
Yeah,
just, we
on
got to get
trip.
back. We got to get back to the roots.
And but that's a long time ago now, right?
Man,
So
it's in my heart, man. That's the roots of it right there, the sands. Got to get
maybe
back to it, brother.
back to DR again one of these days. And then I want to um, I feel like I should write another book. So I'll work on another children's book this coming year. It may be about my dog Tigo. It may be about Layla. But I feel like I want to do something like that creative in the new year as well. So, and again, every day, take it day by day and look around and appreciate the blessings that we do have, right? Because a lot of times I think that I get caught up. I can only speak for myself of thinking about the things that I have to do and maybe things that aren't necessarily going to plan all the time. But um, well, I think I've heard the saying, how do you make God laugh? You tell him tell him your plan or something like that, right?
Mhm.
And things are going to happen the way that it's supposed to happen in God's plan and in God's timing. And so just being grateful for what I have and the blessings that I have and be content with his timing, right? So I'm going to try my best to do more of that and be um, aware of that more moving to the new year. So
Can I
those are my
pick?
yeah.
Can I piggyback on something that you said? And so it's something that you said, and it's something that Daddy said, and it stuck with me with that. I think that at times, my ambition gets ahead of, sometimes it gets ahead of I think God's plan for me, and like I'll crash out because I'm so determined. You know what I mean? Like I have this. I'm a workhorse. I'm determined. I'm curious. Like, I'm always trying to figure out a solution to a problem, right? If I don't know it, I'm gonna research it. I'm gonna figure it out. And I keep trying to level up and I'm defensive in life and I'm trying to position and strategize. And I remember, you know, um, Daddy came over to the house to fix something or something like that. He just looked at me and he was like, you got a big house, you know. Our father, you did it. You said that. I mean, your house is way bigger, but you know, um, it, and then you said you got a really nice house, son, and you like walked away, right? And I'm like, thanks, Daddy, appreciate you. And I thought to myself, I'm like, man, I don't rest in the blessings and the fruits of my labor. A lot. I'm always like looking. And I'm like, my father complimented my house, and I appreciated that. And then you, Bobby, you said one thing one time too. You was like, man, like I think this is like the last time you stayed with me. You was like, man, yeah, you do it. Like you said something like you living like the man right now. And I'm like, what you mean? He's like, look around, and then you walked away. And so I think in both of those instances, it was compliments that were like, how you take so much for granted. And, my brother and my father, like, basically said, look at your environment, look at your house, look at, like all of these things that God has blessed you with and the fruits of your labor. And I think that we had like in all of that, we really have to stop and smell the roses of what we do, and what God has given us. Because, I think that for me, a lot of times I look past my blessings and look towards trying to get to all these other goals. And, that put things into perspective. That sometimes, you can feel like you're not showing enough gratitude to the Most High when you're looking past what He's already given you. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all for doing that because a lot of the times I'm like Sonic the Hedgehog with my goals, right? And I'm just like, let me get to the next. But when y'all told me, it stuck with me, and I'm like, every now and then I just God is good.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
about we have to be ambitious at some level because otherwise we won't continue to grow, right?
Right.
Right.
But it matters to be it matters a lot for somebody to just stop and be present in the current moment and appreciate what's going on, right? Because each moment is fleeting, right?
Right.
Know how long we have and just try to make the most of the current moment with the people that are around you and appreciate life, right?
Right.
I think that's important.
Right.
Well,
Absolutely.
hey, fellas, it was a good year.
It
We're gonna have
was.
a better
Yeah.
one 2026.
Yeah.
A
Appreciate
better
all
one.
a better one. Yes, a happy and prosperous year in 2026. So thanks everybody for joining another Walker Roundtable. This is probably our last episode of the year, but wishing everyone here, everyone who tuned in, listening, a happy, prosperous, safe 2026. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. And please like, share, and subscribe.
There you go.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
everybody.
God
All right.
bless. Merry Christmas.
Bless.
Peace.
Peace.